Hi everyone, I'm Changwan Lee from Trinito. I'm very pleased to be here to introduce our service to you today. Before beginning my presentation, I'd like to introduce myself and our company first. I'm currently working at DXM as a senior analyst. And I'm in charge of the overall structural design of Trinito and DeFine protocol. And our company, DXM, is a subsidiary of Dunamu, maybe you guys know, which operates a bit exchange. We do not only develop DeFi protocols, but also provide OTC, custody, and staking as a service. We have been focusing mostly on DeFi until now. And after long preparation, we have finally released our first product, onchain-based crypto lending service for multi-cryptocurrencies called Trinito. Now, let's move on to Trinito. First, let's take a look at the current leading DeFi services with this table provided by DeFi Purse. It shows all DeFi services in order of the worth of the current locked USD. We can make two notable conclusions from this table. Firstly, that most of the high-ranked services are lending services. And secondly, without exception, all of these services are based on Ethereum. In other words, the DeFi services which currently lead DeFi ecosystems are mostly lending services and based on Ethereum. Now let's take a look at the most popular DeFi service, Compound. Compound is also based on Ethereum, so it can only support Ethereum-based tokens. Currently, it supports a total of 7 tokens like Ether, DAI, USDC, Augur, 0x, Basic Attention, and Wrap BTC. As you can see here, total borrow, DAI and USDC account for about 95% of the total borrow. And also you can see total supply. It shows that Ethereum has been used as the most of the collateral for most borrows. So we can tell there have been a little of demand to borrow Ethereum collateralized with stable coins. And we can predict that there are two important components in the crypto loan market, which are major coins and stable coins. Then, are the current Ethereum-based lending services satisfying all the demand? No, they can never satisfy all the demands for major coins. According to current coinmarketcap.com, Ethereum-based tokens account for only 8 of the top 30, excluding stable coins. Supporting only Ethereum-based tokens can limit users' options a lot. So it's essential to support other mainnet tokens besides Ethereum-based tokens. And we can think that one of the most critical problem of Ethereum is its slow speed. Block time of 10 to 15 seconds is very difficult to reflect token prices in real time. So what if prices aren't reflected in real time? It can make the liquidation process too risky, and also it can lead the collapse of the whole system. So we wanted to solve these problems. To do that, we needed a chain which could support various mainnets other than Ethereum. And we also wanted to keep the system stable through large token price fluctuation. So we need a chain with a very short block time. So that's the reason why we chose Orbi chain. Currently, Orbi chain supports 4 different mainnets, including BTC, ETH, XRP, and Terra, and its block time is 1 second. Then let me introduce the CEO of Orbi Chain for more detailed explanation on Orbi Chain for a moment.
Hello, everyone. My name is TK from the Orbit chain, and then we are developing interchain, which is already commercialized with the Orbit, the DEX, and then Trinito. And let me briefly introduce the main key feature and then structure of the Orbit. The Orbit connects various the mainnets through our IBCs, and then each IBCs have 7 validators who can verify the transaction of the assets from the all different mainnets. So it looks very simple, and then many other, the interchain projects such as the Cosmos and Icon and everyone is trying to build up, but we already commercialized it, and then you can find the numbers of the pegged assets to us is about 10 million US dollars value, and then it's actually working here. So you can actually visit you can visit the explorer of our chain. Then you can actually see the how many transactions and then how many the communications between the other. I mean the BTC, either the XRP and the Terra maybe next month. So you can actually see how it works and how we can connect the various mainnets from us. And then we have good validator sets, which is the global names, such as Terra, Node 8 team, Ontology, MakerDAO, and those teams actually find the visions of our current status and then the future goals. And then so let me briefly introduce our history of our project as actually trying to make one of the finest decentralized exchange from Korea, and then we got the initial investment from the Dunamu, and then there are some problems in the blockchain world that the Ethereum mainnet is too slow and too expensive to build up something on chain, something on the chain. So we build up the side chain, which actually can be more flexible and then more faster. And then we started our DEX from last year July, and then there is some kind of the problems that we need to solve is actually making more interoperable and then the flexible. So we're trying to connect Bitcoin network and then Ripple network to have more liquidity. And then we realized that DEX is not the final form of our, the ideal, the business. And then maybe the chain, which can support the heterogeneous mainnets, maybe have more possibility and more, some kind of opportunity in this market. And then at the time, we realized that the DXM is actually trying to build up the DeFi, which is having more the assets and collaterals in the DeFi form. So we are closely working together with them and then trying to solve their interoperability problem and then flexibility problem. And if you want to know more about us, then you can visit our website, the www.orbitchain.io, and then we can actually provide more information from here. So I will hand over my mic to Changwan again.
Okay, now that you know a little about Orbit chain, let's talk about Trinito. So what is Trinito? Trinito is an on-chain-based crypto lending service for multi-cryptocurrencies, which uses DeFine protocol. So with this, you can deposit tokens and earn interest, and also you can borrow tokens collateralized with deposited tokens. The structure is quite simple. There are borrowers and lenders. If you want to earn interest, just deposit tokens to your own addresses. And if you want to borrow some tokens, you also need to deposit tokens which are different from those you want to borrow. After that, you can entitled to borrow up to 70% of estimate holding assets, and borrowers pay interest for the loan according to each token's interest rate at the time. And lenders can receive the 85% of the paid interest. Yeah, that's all. So this is how Trinito works. So let's try to use Trinito. I'm gonna move, yes, some place. Just for a second, please. Trinito's test page for demonstration. Yeah, to use Trinito, you have to register and create a wallet first. Actually, we plan to provide instant deposit and withdrawal between Trinito and Upbit Exchange through the inner connection. In order to do that, we had to set up KYC process. We apologize about this, but this is only applied to Trinito, not DeFine protocol. So for any operators using DeFine protocol, do not need to set up KYC process. At the top, there are 4 menus. Users would use the wallet menu very often. And proceed the entire process of the deposit and borrow on this menu. On the balance tab, you can check your holding assets and you can also deposit and withdraw. You can deposit tokens with this button. And you can start earning interest every second right after the deposit. And I've already deposited 1 BTC myself. Let's move on to borrow tab. On the borrow tab, you can check your borrowed asset and your available borrow amount. And you can also borrow and repay. But as you can see here, BTC is inactive. This is because I'm holding BTC now. You can only borrow the tokens you don't have. In order to borrow, you need to deposit first. In my case, since I deposited 1 BTC, I can borrow up to about 5,000 USD, which is 70% of the estimate holding asset. My estimate holding asset is about 8,000 USD. It's worth of about 1 BTC. Then I'm going to borrow some Ethereum. I'm going to borrow 50% of the total borrow amount. Okay. You can check the details including total amount and interest rate and maturity date. After entering the password, oh sorry, error occurred. Yeah, like this way you can borrow some Ethereum. And let's move on to market menu. On the market menu, you can check some orders on the liquidation process. DeFine protocol sets a discount rate for each token to stabilize the system through rapid liquidation. The price oracles will suggest a suitable price for liquidation, and that will determine the amount of the collateral to be liquidated and the amount that will be recuperated. Once that is done, the amount to be liquidated will be transferred over to this market immediately. In other words, the amount that will be deducted from the user's collateral is fixed by the protocol, and the user will have fulfilled the borrower's obligations. All other risks related to actually recuperating the amount is then left up to the protocol. Furthermore, since all trades here in BTC pairs is advantageous in terms of liquidity, Currently, the liquidation process is only proceeded internally, and the market will be open to the public by gradually increasing the decentralization degree. And info menu provides all information about the overall system. You can check a lot of information such as each token's contract holding amount and deposit rate and borrow rate. And also, we are currently holding an event to celebrate beta launch. You can borrow BTC, ETH, and XRP for borrow interest of 0.1% and 3% for stable coins. Then please try this and let me know if you have any questions. Now let's move on to the presentation. So what are Trinito's key features? The first one is Trinito can support various mainnet according to Orbit chain's development. And the second one is the interest rate model. It's an exponential function which is used commonly in pricing model on the demand for limited resources. As the utilization rate increases and the interest rate increases much faster, and this enables convenient management of each token's contract funds as to induce repayment and new deposits. As the curvature coefficient A and minimum borrow APR B increase, the graph changes like this. Moreover, this interest rate model can reflect the market interest rate by adjusting minimum borrow APR B. These two values are determined by governance. And whether you borrow tokens or not, you can receive rewards on your deposit. And in order to minimize the amount of loss from liquidation, we apply partial liquidation. So since if your LTV reaches 75%, the first liquidation will only proceed as much as lowering the LTV below 70%. So there's no need to liquidate the collateral in full. And as I explained in the market section, all trades occur in BTC pairs. It's advantageous in terms of liquidity and more efficient. The last one is protocol liquidity. Various type of the fees occurring within the system are stored as protocol liquidity. It's accumulated to nullify unexpected loss in system. So from now on, Trinito and DeFine protocol have two important plans. The first one is to support more mainnets such as Terra and Clayton, and the second one is to increase decentralization degree. Currently, the important factor within the system, including interest rate model, discount rate, and price oracle, are determined by centralized governance. So gradually increasing decentralization degree is very important mission for us. So I'm still figuring out the best way to solve this. So I'd really appreciate your suggestions. And now that concludes my presentation. Yeah, thank you.